When school ends and routines shift, the safety nets that many autistic individuals rely on disappear. For families, summer isn't a break, it's an increase in their mental load. Karina Gaudier from Autism Workforce Solutions is here with more. Good morning. Thanks for coming back on the show.
Hi, thank you for having me back, Ray.
So today we're talking about invisible mental load. What is that?
It means, everything that the families carry once summer starts, because that routine that kids would usually have when they're in school disappears. So it's really hard on the families to kind of keep up that routine and make sure, the kid stays okay with not having the same routine.
Right, because during the school year, you're waking up, you have school, everything is kind of regimented, right?
Yeah.
Like during the summer, you don't have that. So what are families doing? How are they adjusting?
So a lot of them, if they cannot afford to send the kids to like camp or, some respite locations, then they have to do it themselves. So which means that they have to create their own routines at home and, cope with, I guess, the dysregulation in the systems that the kids would have.
Right. When those kids become adults, maybe they're high schoolers going into post-secondary, or maybe they're in post-secondary, does that become more complex during the summer?
Yes, absolutely, because normally adults would not have those programs, right? So then it also affects the parents' jobs, because normally they would be going to their jobs, and then now they have to create a plan to help with that.
So what kind of solutions do you think should be in place?
Creating routines, morning routines, and then having like a little bit of free time for, the people, for the autistic adults or kids to have in the afternoon, and then creating a routine at night can kind of cope with the same type of routine they would have during the day, and also reaching out to the parents' companies that they work for and let them know that they have a neurodivergent kid would also help, so then they can have a little bit more flexibility.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because how can employers improve their workplace inclusion so it's a much more inviting place and they're much more ready for these employers?
Yeah, so, understanding that their employer what they can do is being flexible when it comes to start or end of the shifts, understanding that they might have to leave, getting ready towards summer, so then that person that does have the kid that is neurodivergent can have that flexibility. So that helps with their stress as well.
And you help employers kind of get to that place, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah. So I help with the systems, and I help them kind of cope with that type of necessity when it comes to.
Now, last time you were on the show, you had a book which has been very successful, and now you have an online component as well.
Yeah, so I will be launching next month a free course for companies, educational institutions, and autistic people so they can teach their employers or their kids how to cope with different things.
How long have you been working on this?
I would say 3 months, yes.
Wow, okay. And do you have a launch date, or is it sometime this summer?
Sometime in July.
Okay, sometime in July. So where can we get more information?
So my Instagram is Autism Workforce Solutions. Same for the website, Autism Workforce Solutions. And we also launched a podcast on Spotify with the same name, Autism Workforce Solutions.
You have a lot going on and are helping a lot of people. Karina, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
More Morning Live coming up.